What is up, great people? Back again with another video. It's Tanaka, as some of you guys already know. Welcome to Mind Accelerates Academy. On this YouTube channel, I post BSc, BSS, and a lot of other civil engineering related content and high school subjects as well. It's basically maths and physics. Right. So, what is Mind Accelerate Academy? Well, we offer online private tuitions for grades 3 to grade 12 and N4 to N6, all subjects. So if you need help in any of the subjects, whether you're in high school, whether you're in primary school, whether you are in college, or you know someone who's in college or high school or primary school who needs tutoring with whatever subject it is, we offer all subjects online. The prices are very affordable. So to get in touch, you can easily message me via WhatsApp. My WhatsApp link is in the description of this YouTube channel, or I can also leave it in the description of this video. All right. So guys, in this video, I'm going to be covering a BSS N5 question, just focusing on the calculations. This was from 2015 April. All right. So guys, don't leave without subscribing on this YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe, you know. So don't leave without subscribing. Right, so I just want to take you guys through this paper here, and I want to show you what we've got going on. Sorry about that. Okay, what happened here? Okay, I just want to take you through this paper here, and I want to show you you cannot fumble BSS, guys. You cannot afford to fail BSS, and I'll show you exactly why. First of all, the paper is 20 marks. I mean, 100 marks, right? The question is 100 marks, right? For those of you guys that have watched my previous video, I already covered these types of questions on how to calculate the horizontal distance and the angle, or the direction, I mean, and also, yeah, the distance and the angle, and also how to get the horizontal distance. We did that, right? So I'm just going to go over these calculations real quick. And also, most importantly, in this video, we are doing the rise and fall method. So you need to pay attention. So if you can see this question here, question 3, it is 35 marks. Well, let's not talk about the theory, the 3.3. Alone, question 3 is 30 marks, which is 30%. And if you go on to question 4, the rise and fall method is 15 marks, as you can see there. So that is 45 marks already. And you can see question 5.1, it is asking you to draw the survey coordinate system diagram. That is 6 marks. So guys, you can get yourself 51%, 51% without any theory. And not to even say theory is hard, let's just look at this. Let's look at the true or false. Let's look at this. 2.3 for 2 marks. The Pythagoras theorem does not apply in joint calculation. That's false. Why? Because this is the joint calculation. Um, 3.3. It is this one here. This is the joint calculation, and we clearly use the theorem of Pythagoras when we are calculating the direction. Right? We clearly use the theorem of Pythagoras. Okay, because we will say that direction of CD is equal to, remember this, delta x squared plus delta y squared. That's the theorem of Pythagoras there, because this is usually squared, and then, so already you get yourself 2 marks. And then over here, 2.5. Oh yeah, look at this one. Offsets are measured perpendicularly to a baseline. Definitely, definitely. Remember, everything has to be plumb. So the baseline will be, let's say, your ground. Everything has to be plumb. So that is going to be true. And then step chaining is mainly used during the construction of a staircase. Not really, not really. Just because they're saying step chaining doesn't mean that we're dealing with stairs only. So again, guys, that is already 6 marks. 6 marks already. You can pass this with more than 50%. Right. So let me just take you through this real quick. Mind you, I'm not going to be doing a lot of explaining. I'm just going to, cut straight to the chase. I did an introduction. I told you guys how to deal with these numbers here, how to calculate this when it's given. But I'm just gonna take a few minutes just to show you guys what you really need. Right. First of all, I'm not going I don't have to answer that question that needs us to draw the system of coordinates now, because I'm going to do it over here, right? So this is what we need. We are going to say, remember, this will be our delta y, but it will be negative. This will be our delta x, but it's going to be negative. Delta, you can even not say delta, you can just say y, and this will be the positive one, and then this is going to be delta y, and this is going to be positive. And this is our first quadrant, right? First quadrant, this is our second, right? And this is our third, this is our fourth. And what happens in the first quadrant, we just have the angle. In the second quadrant, we have the angle plus 90 degrees. And then over here, we have theta, the angle plus 180 degrees. And then over here, we will say theta plus 270 degrees. All right, just like that. So it's very important for you to know that system of coordinates. Now, let me just erase this real quick and answer the question. Okay, the question is 15 marks. It's a free giveaway. It's a giveaway 15 marks. Right. We have C and we have D. This is going to be our X's and, sorry, X and Y. This would be our X, this would be our Y, this would be X, and this would be Y. Now remember, in the previous video, guys, I mentioned if you must look at the letters. If they say C, D, that means that when you are calculating your deltas or your changes, so we'll say delta X to begin with, we'll say X of D minus the X of Y. This is what we do. Okay, not Y, sorry, of C. And we do the same when you're finding the delta Y. So what are we going to have here? The X value of D is going to be, is it 10,000? It is 10,000, right? 10,000 minus 10,000, 147.36, right? If you look at the memos, you will see that they have a table that they have drawn over there, and a lot is going on. And also, guys, I need to let you know something. In the memos, they can deliberately, let me show you. Let's say we calculating right now. If you find out your answer, delta x, sorry, delta x is going to be equal to minus 147.36. So what they can do in the memo, they can just swap those numbers. They can say minus 174.36. Understand? Why do they do this? Because they don't really create new questions. They just keep on recycling the old ones, unless, I'm not really sure when do they change the questions, but so far as I've noticed, they take the numbers from the previous questions and then they just plug them there. Take questions, they just plug them there. The reason why they do this is because they know that the memos are on the papers, their websites, the papers are already out. So what stops you from just going to the bathroom and finding out, what is the memo if you don't practice? So that is why they swap things around, because most of us in college, we don't take college seriously. We just start focusing when it's the last minute. So they do that for those people that go there not knowing what they are doing, right? So that is our distance, our delta x. Now to get our delta y, we're going to say y of d minus y of c, and what is our y? It's going to be 10,000 as well. Okay, minus 10149.75. What are we going to get? Delta y, we are simply going to get minus 149.75. All right. Now, remember, we want to find the distance first. I always prefer finding the distance first. So for distance, it's fine. Just say distance, right? Distance CD is going to be equal to square root delta x squared plus delta y squared, and that is theorem of Pythagoras, by the way, right? That means we have the hypotenuse, and that is actually our hypotenuse. These will be the lengths of the sides. So our delta x is minus 147.36, right, squared plus minus 149.75 squared, like that. And what we are going to get is 210.10 meters. Guys, this is going to be, if you want, you can write meters here, right? Just right, but they're asking for the distance. So our distance, guys, is going to be 210. 0.10 meters. That is going to be the distance, and we don't stop there. Now, what we need to do is to calculate the direction. And this is like the grade 10, you know, how you deal with vectors in grade 10. Very easy. Okay, let's go and find out our direction. Now, to go and find our direction, we use 10, sorry, let's say direction, Heman, right? Direction, CD, okay, let's just say CD is equal to, we will say shift 10. It's going to look like that. Now, we need to know which quadrant are we dealing with. Notice that we have our delta is negative, right? You can see that the value here is negative. So that means that we have x is minus and our delta y is also minus, isn't it? Delta y is also minus. So what do we do when this is the case? If this is the case, then we need to find out which quadrant is this. If you remember the first quadrant, this side is delta y, and here this is delta x, but this is negative. So we are in this quadrant here, right? So this might be our angle. And what do we say in this quadrant? We say angle plus 180 degrees. So we will say theta. Before we need to get the ratio first, right? Which is our opposite. Our opposite is going to be delta x, right, over delta y, like that, plus 180. We have to add 180. Do not forget to add 180 because you're working in the third quadrant. Plus 180 degrees, right? So what are we going to have now? Direction CD will simply be equal to, if you punch everything, oh sorry, 10, okay, just want to substitute for you guys. Our numerator is going to be minus 147.36. This is going to be minus 149.75 plus 180 degrees. And simply just by substituting that in the calculator, your answer is going to be 224 degrees and 32 hours. And then we have 20.81 minutes. This will be the direction. This is going to be what we call the the distance. So we have the distance and we have the direction, but it doesn't end there, right? What we now need to do is just to perform a checking calculation, right? We just have to check. So how checking is done is very easy. All right, just memorize this, right? What I'm telling you now. Oh, you don't have to memorize it. When we are checking, what we just do, remember, we have opposite and we have a hypotenuse and we have an adjacent. The hypotenuse is the distance. This is the hypotenuse. This is the distance. So now watch the ratio, and we have our direction, which is our angle. We have the direction. So watch this. Sine that angle there, sine theta, will be equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So naturally, the hypotenuse has to be there, isn't it? So instead of writing the hypotenuse there, I'm going to say put the hypotenuse over there, right? So we have sine. This is how you check to get the opposite. So what is going to be your opposite in the third quadrant? If you look at it, your opposite has to be minus this one here. This has to be the opposite, isn't it? That is going to be your opposite. So how do you find out that? So to answer the question, you're going to take the distance, which is your hypotenuse, 210.10 sine theta, which is this angle here. You will put the theta there, right, which is this angle here, right? I'm feeling okay. Let me just write that 224 0.32 and 20.81 minute yeah, minutes, right? What that is supposed to give you is the opposite. Okay, it's supposed to give you the opposite, which is minus 147.36, which is your x. You see that? And to get the other, to do the other check, you just want to say 210, right? 0.10 cos, and then you're gonna put that angle there, and it's going to give you the y. Okay, if you don't understand this, do let me know in the comment section. um it's very easy, it's very easy. All right, so guys, that is how you do that question and get yourself the marks that you need. Okay, in case I didn't mention, I'm going to do the rise and fall method as well in this video. Doing these videos repeating the same questions, just different numbers, is kind of annoying. But maybe you didn't come across the first one, so that's why I'm going through this one. However, in the next videos, I won't be doing these basic calculations because we've already gone through them. We are going to be doing different calculations. Right. Okay. Right. Now let's just do this 15 marks. Excuse me. To calculate the distance or the horizontal distance, we use the formula. We say horizontal distance is equal to the slope, right? The slope distance, right? The slope distance times cos, and then here you put the slope angle, right? You put the slope angle. So that's how we get our distances. So quickly, what I'm just going to do is write everything fast and answer this. So A to B will be equal to, so this is the horizontal, right? The horizontal distance, so it's going to be 100.261 times cos, and then we put the slope distance, which is 3 degrees, 44 hours, and 20 minutes. Right, we're just going to leave it like that. Then we do the same again, or we can find out what this equals to, and it's going to be equal to 100.048 meters, right? And to get B, okay, sorry about that. BC, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to say 72.406 times cos, and then we're going to say 7 degrees, 45 hours. Then we're going to get 71.745 meters. And then we're going to say CD is equal to 50 cos 1 degree, 51 hours, right? And what we will get is 49.974 meters. And now to get the horizontal distance is equal to, we have to add them now, 100.048 plus 71.74 plus 49.974. What we are going to get is 221.78 meters. Guys, that is how you get yourself the horizontal distance. Imagine 15% of your paper is just by doing that. Okay, allow me to just erase and do the other question, the rise and fall, right? Rise and fall method, very important. Rise and fall method, guys, this is very important. You will see it in almost every paper. Imagine that. Oh yeah, draw the surveying coordinate system diagram. Well, we did that. Okay, how many marks is the rise and fall method? 15 marks again. That's 45. Wait, let's see. Rise and fall, 15. Yeah, 15, 15, 30, 45. Right. Let's just get to it. All right, I think I'm just gonna zoom in. Okay. So how does rise and fall work? It's very easy. I'm gonna show you. So let me see. All right. Let me just reduce the thickness of this pen. All right, that's fine. Okay. So how does it work? Very easy. So, oh yeah, sorry guys, I forgot to let you know. To calculate whether it's a rise or fall, we simply say backside. So I'm gonna say backside minus foresight, right? To get if it's a rise or if it's a fall, right? Or you can say intermediate side minus the foresight to know if it's a rise or fall, right? Or you can also say backside, um, which one did I leave? Oh, backside minus intermediate side, right? This will give you the rise or the fall. So if your answer is positive, it's a rise. If your answer is negative, it is a fall, right? Backside minus foresight, like that, easy. Okay, backside minus foresight, backside minus intermediate side, or that's the one I had there, eh? Yeah, or you can say backside, or you can say intermediate side minus foresight. That's all you need. That's all you need. Now let's see how many marks we can collect. So we can see that we have A and we can't have rise or fall, and we can't have anything in this point here. All right, so what we do is we go ahead and we look at A and B. So you can see that this is A, so you're going to get that point there, right? So we are going to say backside minus the foresight. So we will say 2.3 minus 2.332. All right, 2.3 minus 2.332, and watch what you get. 2.3 minus 3. You're going to get minus 0.032. So that is going to be a fall because it's a negative answer, right? Since it's negative, so we'll say 0.032. And then what do we do? Do the next thing here. We do the same thing, right? We subtract 2.545 minus 2.233. We are going to get a positive answer, which is 0.312. So that is going to be a rise because it's positive. And then over here, very easy. We're going to say backside minus intermediate side. Simple, right? We're going to say 2.754 minus 2.264. And what are we going to get? Also, is going to be a rise, which is 0.49. Right, and what else can we do? Now, for the next point, we have the intermediate side, and we need the we end the foresight. So what do? We say 2.264 minus 2.342, and we are going to find out that the answer is negative, so it's going to be a 4, which is 0.078. So 4. We are not done. We have this to worry about. Well, not worry, to answer. Now, what are we going to say? We're going to say 2.936 minus 2.342, right? And we are going to notice that the answer is positive, which is 0.594. Okay, guys, how many marks? I think this will be 1 mark, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, let me just erase that for now. I think you're getting yourself 5 marks just by doing so. Right, the next thing that we're going to do is to reduce. Right, this is what I do next. I go and reduce. So we take this and we just put it over here, 34.723. Right, now what we will do is we will take this number here and we subtract. If it's a fall, we subtract. So we're going to say 34.723 minus that, and we are going to get 34.69. Now sorry, 691. Now moving on, if it's a rise, we have to add. So we'll take this and we will add, right? And we are going to get 35.003. And again, it's a rise there. We have to add. So we are going to say 35.493. This is it's a fall, so we will subtract, and it's gonna be 35.415, right? And we have a rise, so we're going to add. And if it's a rise, we will add, and what are we going to get? We're gonna get 3. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so if it is a rise, we have to add that, and we're gonna have 35.415, right? Plus, what do we have there? 0.594. All right, watch what we get. So let me just so we're going to take this and we're going to add that and go back. right? So what are we going to have? It's going to be 36.009. Right, looking at that, we are almost done. Now, the next step that we do, or the next thing we do, is we just add the backside. If we add our backside values, we are going to get 10.535. Right, intermediate side we don't touch. The foresight we have to add the foresight. Right, but now we have to find out. So here we have the backside and we have the foresight, right? And we need to find out the difference between them. So what is our foresight first before I can move on? Our foresight is going to be 9 point is going to be our foresight is going to be 9 point 249, right? That is going to be our foresight. So now we just need to find out the difference between them. Right? What is the difference between the backside and the foresights? Once again, we just subtract the two. Okay, so we'll say backsides minus the foresights, right? Um, yeah, backsides minus the foresights. What are we gonna get? So if you just put a negative sign over there, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to do that. Okay, so what you can do is you can take this number here. Nice, and it doesn't matter the order that you do it. Just take this and put it on top over there. Okay, so what I mean is I'm gonna have on top here. I think it's gonna confuse people. Let me just okay, right. What I'm gonna put is I'm gonna put 10.535 over here, and I'm gonna subtract, right? Because this is backside minus the foresight, and what I'm going to get is 1.286, right? So this the backside minus the foresight is supposed to be equal to the rise minus the fall. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to add all the rise, right? If we do that, if we add all the rise, if we add all the rise, we are going to get 1. Okay, let me use a red color. We are going to get 1.5, I mean, sorry, 1.3, 1.396. All right. And if we add all our fall, we are going to get 0.11. Okay, so what do we do to find our rise or our fall? We have to say rise minus fall, isn't that so? So we will say rise minus our fall. So that means that we're going to say 1.396, right? And then here we're going to put the fall, which was 0.11. All right. And what we will get, look at that. If it doesn't balance, then that means you did something wrong, right? Our answer is the same, 8, 6. All right. That is what we get. Just give me a minute. 396 minus 0.11. All right, we get that, guys. That is how you do this. But now we are not even done, right? We are not even done. We have the remark, and we have this one here. So we can just quickly check as well if our answers are the same by subtracting this. Let me just try something here. Let's say if we say 36, right? 36, because this is our reduced, right? 36.009, and we're going to subtract this one here, 34. Not really, it won't make sense. If we subtract 36.002, well, that won't even work. Okay, I think that is all, and that is all that we can do to conclude the calculation. However, I would just like to try this on my calculator and see what happens if I say 34, or rather 36.009 minus 34.723. Ooh, would you look at that? Yeah, okay. I was doubting that. This also has to make sense, guys. The reduced level minus what you started with. Okay. it has to balance. So if we take our reduced level, which is the 36.009, if we subtract 34.723, our answer is supposed to be 1.286. Voila. Guys, this is how you get yourself the proper 15 marks for this question, right? If you're new to my channel, don't leave without subscribing. You don't have to pay to subscribe. It is completely free. Yeah, it is completely free, free of charge. All right. So guys, that is that for this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until we meet again in the next video. Cheers.